not Saddam Hussein. Defend yourself, because your country is being humiliated. Every day, the court asks the prosecutor to follow up on that issue. I would like to ask, has you been subjected to beating? Have you been beaten? Yes. How come? Where and who beat you? I'm honestly, not only you, any of the defendants, anybody in the defendants, and I visited the site and I didn't see anything. I went in July and I saw all the rooms air conditioned, while some of Baghdad areas lacked electricity. I asked the force that was in charge of the site, and they said that was continuous air conditioning. And I asked a TV for everybody, and I asked if newspapers were getting to the defendants. Now you're now telling me you're being beaten. You have, be confident. I don't know about that, and if that's the case, then I accept all the applications from the defendants, and I will carry out the investigation. And everybody. Are you going to punish the Americans? Are you going to punish the Americans? With that, you went. We'll go in another time. Your Honor. Yes, allow my microphone. I have an observation, an important comment. If it was the multinational forces are abusing your position, from this platform, I ask the coalition forces to turn over all defendants to the Iraqi forces, and the treatment will be certainly different than what you were subjected to by the coalition. You may support me in that or not. I am with your decision. He asked me if I was subjected to beating. If you have something in that regard, write it down. And no, allow me. I'm not a student, not a pupil. Let me not talk in a way I don't like for myself and for anybody else. He interrupted me and he went on talking. You did not stop him. But yes, his question, yes, my answer, yes. I was beaten on every part of my body and marks are still on my body. I'm not complaining about Americans. Although Your Honor, by God, do you have anybody who's more dear to you than your son? I don't think about my own children as much as I care about and think about Iraq itself. By God, I don't know the name of the person who told about my sons, but I know the name about who told about where I was hiding. I know his name. They knocked on the door and I said, I'm Saddam Hussein. If I This is a characteristic of an Iraqi. I took the RPG and ran away, and God made it that their tanks turned away before I reached there, minutes before I reached there. And Comrade Taha said, this is suicide. And I said, I didn't hear him. And I said, abandoning responsibility. I'm not that type of persons who leave and abandon their responsibility. When I say the brave are fighting them, our enemies are not the American people. You were listening fabrications all day. Listen to me. You'll benefit as Iraqis. We are in the process of dealing with a complaint by a complaint plaintiff. It looks like you have a lot of forbearance. Yes, they have forbearance more than you. I'd like to say, yes, we were beaten by the Americans. And we were tortured. Every one of us. This one, they hit him with the back of the rifles. Until that, he fell. Barzan, he fell. The bones of his feet are showing now. Then this is what makes you great. When you ask an Iraqi, even if you sentence him to death, that's not the issue. You show the public opinion that you're fulfilling your duty, your right towards Iraq as part of the judicial system, that you care about the Iraqi to preserve his dignity. After that, if he's punished according to your law, that's another issue. I'm not arguing with you. Thank you. If Your Honor. Yes, we want to pray. We want to pray, Your Honor. Is 15 minutes enough? Yes, 15 minutes. Go ahead.
Yes, we were beaten by the Americans and we were tortured, every one of us. Saddam Hussein, who had until an hour or two ago been very subdued in court this day, making an emotional outburst in court. He said he had been beaten in detention. He said, yes, I was beaten on every part of my body and marks are still on my body. And interesting too that the prosecutor said that he would ask coalition forces to turn over all of the defendants to Iraqi forces, saying that the treatment will certainly be different to what you were subjected to. Certainly extraordinary claims, a fairly quiet day in court until this moment, and now these amazing claims being made. The prosecutor also saying he would carry out an investigation. Saddam saying immediately, will you punish the Americans? That not really answered. Earlier he was saying that, denying that any child was interrogated in the wake of the attempt on his life into jail. He said no child was interrogated, only the adults. When the judge went to say something, he said, don't interrupt me, please. Also, I want to point out to viewers, at times there you heard the audio disappear, go silent. It wasn't a technical difficulty. In fact, this trial, as you can see from the font there on the screen, is delayed video, and the court is monitoring what is being broadcast and has the choice to take out some segments of the audio if they choose to do so, and it would appear that that is precisely what was happening when you did not hear any audio. It was the court's doing. What was being said then, we're not entirely sure, but we certainly heard the claim by Saddam Hussein that he and his co-defendants were beaten by the Americans and tortured, in his words, every one of us. Zane?
Let's go to Washington now and join CNN's legal analyst, David Sheffer. David, you've been watching this trial all day. We've been watching a fairly subdued and calm Saddam Hussein for most of it, and then this outburst and allegations of torture and being beaten at the end of it. What do you make of it?
Well, Zane, of all of the days of trial, I think this has been clearly the most interesting day. We've seen a